What First Lady was once considered the second most powerful person in the United States? I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett.
Welcome to Laid Back Learning with Leah and Garrett.
Today's topic is Rosalynn Carter.
So I once took a trip to Plains, Georgia. It was a small town vibe, pretty charming. I remember visiting Rosalynn Carter's childhood home there. The experience was kind of magical. Seeing where it all started for her gave me a sense of the humble beginnings she came from.
That's pretty cool, right? I bet seeing her roots gave you insight into how she grew into this influential figure. All right, let's dig into this.
Absolutely. Let's open the book on this. Rosalynn Carter was more than just a first lady. She was a writer, activist, and humanitarian. She wasn't just there for the ribbon cuttings. She was actively reshaping the role of the first lady. She championed women's rights and mental health, using her platform effectively.
Comparing her to, say, a modern CEO, she definitely took charge. She was like, here's the agenda, now let's make some real changes. And not just in the US, her work was international too.
Yeah. And her influence wasn't just limited to her days in the White House. Her early life in Plains, Georgia was pretty telling. She was the eldest of 4 kids, which meant leadership and responsibility were second nature to her. It's where her compassion was cultivated, right?
Getting pushed into a caretaker role, young tends to do that. Plus, she lost her father early on, which really shaped her sense of community and empathy. Those experiences were foundational.
And during her husband's time as the president, Rosalynn redefined what it meant to be a political partner. She sat in on cabinet meetings, which was unheard of at the time. Critics even called her the Steel Magnolia.
That nickname's kind of fitting, don't you think? It was like acknowledging her solid strength while she kept this Gentile demeanor. Her public approval stayed high despite the critiques. That says a lot.
Exactly. She might have faced controversy, but remained focused on her mission. Real talk. After the White House, she didn't stop. Receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1999 was a testament to her enduring impact.
And her work post-presidency wasn't any less significant. Establishing the Institute for Caregivers in 1987 showed her commitment was deep and personal.
Here's something to chew on. What if Rosalynn Carter had pursued architecture instead? You think her life's path would have been much different?
I love a good rabbit hole. If she'd gone that route, her eye for detail might have manifested differently, but I feel her humanitarian drive was so strong it would have found another outlet. What do you think?
Totally. Architecture needs vision and planning, much like her advocacy roles. Maybe her structural designs would have mirrored her societal blueprints, you could say.
Let's switch it up. Rosalynn was featured in Time magazine, being compared to Eleanor Roosevelt, another powerhouse. She was really in the media's eye.
Yeah, that kind of juxtaposition fascinates me. It's wild seeing how media frames these influential figures. Often spot on, though.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Studying her gives us insights into evolving roles in politics and advocacy. It's like seeing a blueprint for how these roles can grow and change.
Let's keep this going. We should definitely explore more about her mental health initiatives. They're like the seeds for current discussions on the topic, showing long-term implications.
Stay curious out there, and remember, history's got some fantastic lessons to teach us.